Greetings one last time to the Biblical Hermeneutics students here at Southeastern University. This is your instructor, Dr. Larry Asplund, coming to you again, this time at the end of week 7, module 7. Of course, module 8 is the very last week of our fall 2022 class. And what a great class it has been. I just love, as you know, I love any class that deals with the subject of scripture interpretation, since that's really what equips us, probably more than a lot of other things, to be ministers of the word. So it's been such a great experience. And of course, we're going to come to a very good conclusion before all is said and done. The Module 8 theme is completing the exegetical project. Rather, you only have 2 big assignments. They are together worth 40% of your final grade. So jumping into them is going to be very, very important. And I want to make sure I do everything I possibly can to prepare you for both of those assignments. Of course, one of those things I've already done, providing you a fairly, what I think is a detailed tutorial on writing your exegetical paper. And then, of course, the final exam, which I think you will do very well on as well. There is, of course, an online course evaluation. For us in online learning. It's really a different kind of a thing. First of all, you can't access Module 8 until you complete the evaluation. But second of all, I would want you to know that these course evaluations, student evaluations, are absolutely essential in online learning, because there are a lot of ways that would be true in person we don't have available to use to find out how well the class went. So we really depend significantly on a variety of factors, observing student engagement, etc. But these student evaluations are very, very important. So I want to thank you for taking time to really take them seriously. I appreciate your excellent constructive criticism. I will see the results of your evaluation anonymously. I won't see, any of your names, but I appreciate in advance any great suggestions you might have. So in terms of Module 8 objectives, of course, once again, as always, we have a very excellent written introduction to Module 8, which will give you a clear sense of what it is we are accomplishing here in our last week. And then these are simply our learning objectives. Number 1, to identify the necessary tools for the expansion and refinement of an exegetical study. So you've been doing that all along. You're just going to put it together in one wonderful exercise based on your chosen passage in Ephesians. And so it's going to come together nicely in this last week. Number 2, to recognize key questions to be asked and research for Revelation and Old Testament prophetic books. You will have a couple of resources. These are not going to be attached to graded assignments, but you will have a couple of resources that is relevant here at the end, including, I think it's okay to think a moment about the book of Revelation, because all of this comes down to our ability also to be comfortable there. When it comes to studying and even teaching or preaching out of the book of Revelation. And number 3, then, to draft an exegetical paper with the purpose of demonstrating the principles of interpretation. So this is what you've been working hard on all semester. It's all going to come down to Module 8. You have some good resources, of course, in Module 8. You have a video from Ben Witherington, who is a great New Testament scholar, on how to read the book of Revelation, which I know you will enjoy. Of course, it's very, very important to read in our primary textbook from Gorman, chapters 9 and 10. If you have had a chance to look at my video on the exegetical paper, you'll realize again that basically that assignment is based on the content that you have been reading in Gorman. You'll have a couple of reviews. So, of course, they're presentations that are just given to you as a review, one on New Testament Revelation and the other on Old Testament prophets. So we just kind of want to end the class by providing you some additional extra, excellent material when it comes to hermeneutics. Of course, you're going to be writing your exegetical paper. Take a look at my tutorial when you get a chance. I really explore the details, including the grading rubric that I will have in front of me. The grading rubric will actually be programmed into the assignment so that I will need to use it very, very specifically. I want you to be able to see that and be prepared to have that in mind. So, of course, you have links to the exegetical paper instructions, the final rubric, of course, and you see a whole list of resources under the Get Started section, way up at the top of our class under Course Resources and Materials, including that sample paper. So I went over the sample paper for you as well in the video tutorial. There will be a final exam. It's going to be a 70-question open book, open note exam. It's going to kind of be the conclusion to what you have been doing week by week already. And so those questions will reappear. I think it's important for you to know that you have one chance to take the exam. There's a 120-minute limit, 2 hours. And again, you can have your notes, etc., open in front of you as you review and take the exam. One chance means that if, as soon as you press the submit button, your exam is over. So you definitely don't want to accidentally, click that submit button. As soon as you do, then that's the end of the exam. So be careful when it comes to that. Answers that, in terms of, I know you might be curious as to, why did I get that wrong? What's the correct answer? All of that will be available to you after the exam closes. And so you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, December the 13th, to complete that final exam. A couple of you have already taken the final exam and actually did quite well. And so that will just be the last minute that you can complete that assignment. I love the fact that you are going to have a successful completion to all that you've been working on this week during these 8 weeks, these 8 modules. And, as we all know, life has happened to several of you in terms of sickness, family crises, etc. We've been praying for one another as we go forward. I'm just praying for grace to finish well, finish strongly. My recommendation would be, if you have maybe not been able to do one of those shorter assignments that have come along during the class, certainly I can look, if you will communicate with me, I can look at grading them late. But it might be, consider the possibility that it might be a better use of your time just to jump into the final exegetical paper and the final exam, 40% of your final grade. So that's kind of huge. Those shorter, assignments are not worth anything like that. And then go back and maybe make up for those if you've missed a couple of those assignments along the way. I have the ability to provide you with a late grade, as we communicate with each other, except for the discussions, because they're viewed as a conversation that has come and gone. And so my commitment is to you. I'm committed to your learning in this class. I'm committed to your success as students. So don't hesitate at all here during the last week to let me know how I can serve you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to do everything I can to make sure that this has been a really excellent, helpful learning experience for you. So God bless you, everybody. Just have a wonderful week 8.